Chris Yandex, C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button below and like this video to keep up with everything we have going on here at C1 review in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate it. Today we're going to focus again on the college football playoff national championship game. And last week I told you that I believe that Ohio State would win the national championship, that Notre Dame would need to catch some breaks and Ohio State would need to make some mistakes. Well, they didn't make enough of those mistakes, as Ohio State won the college football playoff games national championship by a score of 34-23. And I'm going to just reflect back on the college football playoff, and we'll answer that question: is Ohio State the best team in college football this year? To begin with, let's talk about something. A bunch of people are going to feel vindicated by these college football playoff games, being that there were 12 teams that come in. Some made the argument that 12 was too many, and I'll give you my thoughts on that at the end of this video. But to begin, you had the 8 seed playing the 7 seed. Ohio State was the 8 seed. They end up winning the national championship by winning, 4 games, and the reality of what it comes down to at the end of the day is that by winning those 4 games over Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and now Notre Dame, they are now the national champions of college football. And Notre Dame, of course, got here by beating Indiana and Georgia and Penn State. And the reality of what it comes down to at the end of the day is the following. If we didn't have that 12-team college football playoff game, these teams would not have had a chance to get here, play for the national championship game. So I think what you can say about it in reality of what it comes down to is the following, and I will look at it for you like this. Number one, the reality is that because we now have more than 4 teams getting into the postseason, there are going to be more games and more possibilities for upsets happening. But I think people that wanted this are happy to see that 1 versus 4, meaning the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds did not make it to the semifinals and then finals, because then maybe there would have been an argument made that 5 through 12 didn't deserve to be here or didn't even deserve a chance to play for the college football playoffs. So I'm going to just say this, Ohio State lost to Michigan in the last regular season game of the year, and that game, prior to this year would have been an elimination game for them, and they wouldn't have been playing for the college football playoff. Notre Dame's 1 loss to Northern Illinois, would that have kept them out of the college football playoff at 11-1? That's debatable, probably, because they were at ranked number 7. I don't think in the old format of number 4 they probably get the case, so they're probably left out. So both of these teams would not have been here if we would not have had the new system. Now the question is that was Ohio State the best team in college football? Well, they were the best team in college football for the college football playoff. Their 4 wins were absolutely dominant overall. Notre Dame, was behind in tonight's college football game, caught up and made a 1-possession game. But again, Ohio State's offense and team overall was just too much for Notre Dame, as I predicted it would be about a week ago. I told you that the Notre Dame story was great, and it would be nice to see them win the national championship. And I'm sure the majority of the United States of America and the country tonight were rooting them on to win the national championship. But I told you last week that Ohio State would just be too much. They were very impressive against Oregon and Tennessee and Texas. And Notre Dame got the easier route to the finals, as I told you. Indiana, 11-1. There could have been some arguments made of that they deserved to be in the CFP playoff to begin with. I told you Georgia was nowhere close to what it had been in the past. Had Georgia lost to Georgia Tech in their regular season finale, they probably wouldn't have made the college football playoff. They could have lost to Florida as well. Georgia could have had easily 4 losses this year. And then finally Penn State, they found a way to eke that one out, but it was a barn burner, of course. So by the time they got to this national title game, I felt like they had exhausted all of their possibilities. I thought they could be competitive, but I didn't think they would win, and they did not. So yes, Ohio State, at least for this college football playoff, yeah, they're probably the best team in America, no denying that, because they won the national championship. But are they the best team? Well, this is the way to decide it. So for this year? They sure are, but it just goes to show you that a team with one loss, or two losses can still win the national championship. And in the old format, we wouldn't get these kinds of games. So now let's talk about the future. Was 12 teams way too many? I think so. I think that this could be an 8-team format. You could have all of the conference champion winners and put a couple of at-large teams in, and I think that would be more than enough. I don't think you need 12 teams for the college football playoff. I think 8 is more than enough. We should have an 8-team system, and there should absolutely be some discussions about what happens with conference champions depending on how they perform or underperform compared to some of maybe these at-large teams, and maybe they don't deserve to have the top seedings just based on the fact that they're conference champions. That could also be looked into as well and something to discuss. But for this year, Ohio State is this year's college football national champion. You have to say a lot of great things about Notre Dame and how they bounced back after that loss to Northern Illinois this year. They played so well in the college football playoff, and I know that a lot of the nation was rooting them on, but they came up short, but they have a lot to be excited about in their efforts this year. I'm Chris Yannick for C1 Review here in Las Vegas, reviewing the college football playoff national championship game and the college football season. Till next year, if you have anything you'd like to say, as always, let us know in the comments section below about this year's college football season. And of course, I'll see you in the next one this week. Please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here in Las Vegas and beyond. And I will see you in the next one.